Hey guys, I wanted to talk to you about the merging of the sun and the moon within spinal cord, the lower brain, which is they call it reptilian brain, that associated with Eve, and which is the serpent, and merging with the falcon or the phoenix, which is associated with your right and left hemisphere of your brain, you know? So that's associated with the sun, okay? So they'll both merge on a cross. So the symbol behind, Jesus dying on a cross. Basically, dying is where your reptilian brain ends, which is the back of your head on the cross. If you look at the online, where the cross and the base, middle of your brain, that was the cross that God is talking about, right? The symbolism. So it's not really Jesus dying, on a cross. Basically ending part of your reptilian brain, which is the serpent brain, the lower side of your brain, okay? And then rebirthing into the sun, which is, it ends there and it births a union. It birthed from this union the right and left brain, which is one associated with the sun and one is the moon, okay? The seed of God is inside. It's right, around your pineal gland, which is in the middle of your right and left hemisphere of your brain. So the enemy, what they do is they disconnect you. How you get disconnected from God, right? I'm going to tell you how they disconnect you from God. Because Satan, embodiment of the serpent, he has power, because, he worked from the lower side, which is your lower brain, which is reptilian brain. That was Satanist, because this is how he worked from the, because okay, it's like the chaos. Think of the chaos. He worked from the chaos. All of that side, when beginning of creation, the creation was not stable. There is a lot of friction. There's a lot happening, and God is, when he hovered around the water, is a spinal fluid. Your spinal fluid is your water, and everything kind of cooled down, So that's what it means. Hovering over the water. This verse. Look it up, and then, so because it's an ending to reptilian brain and a beginning of. Think of it is, from the My Pet Go To. Remember that tulip that opens? It was not a tulip. What did you call that plant? Flower. I can't remember what it's called. But anyhow, that flower would open up. When it opens up, that's a union between the sun and the moon. Okay? Creating the right side of hemisphere of your brain and the left. Okay? The reptilian brain is it dominates because it sits out in the base of your brain, and that's how they control because it governs fears, emotion, a lot of emotions, and basically the lower consciousness of things. It governs things like your instinct, your ability to respond to things, and things happening in your life, how you react and stuff. It governs that. Without that, why when they're attacking you, they're bestowing fear on that side to control you. through fear. And so you have to merge, and you have to create prayers, and to, you know, basically scrub clean the reptilian side of your brain. Because remember, Satan, you know, he work on out of fear. He harvests fear and energy and stuff. Anything that, you know, of chaotic nature, that's it, you know. And that why they're putting you in a fear mode to harvest all this. It's a lower vibration because they run on a lower vibration. 144,000 humanity that run on higher vibration. You know, they run in high vibration because there's this union in humanity, you know, of the sun and the moon on your brain, the reptilian brain, and the, you know, right and left side of your brain has hemisphere. Okay, so you have to align everything, and so work in cohesiveness. So there is no room for, you know, this fear to take a hold of you and to control you, because they control you. So it's fear. That's why they're attacking you day and night to do that. But then when you create prayers to scrub clean that, you know, the reptilian side, all the way from the spinal cord, from your tailbone, all the way to the base of your head, the base of your head, right there where the God, you know, where the upper right or left brain and the reptilian meet, which is Eden, the kingdom of Eden, is right there at the 33 vertebrae. Why they are working? Why, you know, secret society working on a 33 level and stuff like that? You go up in ranks. How they share information with you, how you gain information and insight on things, because they, you know, you reach a certain point and they move you up in rank, you know. So to 33 is heaven, is Eden, kingdom of Eden. The cross meets and stuff where the union this happened, and basically the Big Bang Theory, that the creation of the right and left hemisphere, because when they met right in the cross there, exploded, and it separates the sun and the moon, the left and right. You understand? And each side govern certain things. So if you look online, you know, the left brain govern what and the right side govern what. You look it up, you know. So you have to create prayers to scrub clean what these people have put their hands on, to get you to get your frequency out of whack, you know. So they do it intentionally. They're very calculated, I'm telling you. You know, they put me in this program, you know, and stuff. But you learn a lot if you just try, because, you know, just all this time they made you look outside. They made you look outside for God. You know, God exists within you. God thrown within you as well. You're directly connected to God within you. You just need to access it. And how you access it, I just showed you. Okay? And you have to get rid of all of that, all this fear and programming, and usually on this lower reptilian brain, because they work from this chaotic state of mind, which is fear-based. You know, it's a fear-based tactics to lower your vibration and to control you. So these people always operate from that fear base, and they lower your vibration by attacking this lower side of your brain, which is your spine, you know, the spinal cord, and all the way to the reptilian brain, the base of your head, you know, where the 33 vertebrae meets. And so if you, I remember I told you, knowing is like half of the battle. So once you learn that, then you begin to put yourself back together, because you're at a shamble. These people was done, creating this destructive pattern in your life. It's just to disconnect you from God. So dying on the cross is not really. It means exactly that? No, it does not mean that. Basically, when they said goddesses of crossroad, what do you think goddesses of crossroad? That's it. The crossroad is your right and left brain, because it governs two sides. So look up whose goddess of the crossroad is. And so anyhow, just look at that, and then you begin to understand how these people operate, how they're all about fear. And look at what things happening in this planet. For example, killing this guy, Kirk, whatever his name is, which is a hoax. To get the people in that kind of state. You know what I mean? To get them in all this. To look at what's happening in the world today, and creating fears. Killing of Palestinian in Palestine. Look, what is it doing? When you killing mass people and people are watching, and they think what they are doing is a work of God. God is not like that. You know what I mean? God is not gonna annihilate the entire race unless you're wicked. If you're wicked, because one of the prophets. I'm gonna tell you a story. One of the prophets. I'm trying to remember his name. I have to look it up and I'll put it in the comment section. Anyhow, he ended up killing a child because God given him a gift of all knowing. The gift of all knowing, he looked at the child and he saw this kid is gonna grow to be really wicked. And he killed that child. And because one of these apostles was following him, and he was showing him things, how to see things, upcoming, to what do you call it, to see the future, okay, and how to discern what's right, what's wrong. So he told him not to ask. He told him not to ask questions. Just follow and see what I'm doing, but do not ask questions. So he killed a child. That's his story. He killed a child, and he told him, "Why are you killing this child?" And it's a child, And he did not respond. And then he went into another town, and he drilled a hole on a ship. And then there's one more third thing I have to look it up. I escaped me. I don't know the third part of it, what he did, but it was something like that as well. He did something is you would consider out of whack. You know what I mean? So anyhow, he told him, remember when because he finally wanted to tell this kid why he did these things. He says, I saw in the future this kid is gonna grow to be wicked kid, and especially to his parents. He will do horrible things to his parents, and his parents were good people, and he want to save them from that upcoming what this kid is gonna grow to be. He's gonna be growing to be a wicked kid. Okay, so he ended the kid, And he says to him, remember the ship, why I drill a hole in that ship? He said, because there is a king in that era who used to confiscate ships and enforce heavy taxation on people, unjust taxation. And he used to take away valuable things that are deemed valuable. And if the ship is perfect, he would confiscate that ship, because he would say it will be added to the king fleet. You understand? But if the ship flawed had a flaw on it, and then he would not confiscate the ship because he drill a hole on it. That means his ship is flawed. You understand? Obviously you can you can plug it with something, right? But he did that so because that ship, he told him, is for a poor family who used to make a living out of it. They go fishing and sell the fish in the market and live off the fishing. And he didn't want that to happen to them, so he made a flaw on the ship so it would not be confiscated. And it's true. The king came in and they saw the hole and they did not confiscate the ship. You understand? So I can't remember the name of the third thing, but I'm going to look it up online and I'm going to include it in the comment section. You can watch. So to get back to seeing and believing, and also knowing is half of the battle. So when you know this, how they control these people, you can cut them out of, because if they come in through your, serpent side of things, which is your reptilian brain and the spinal cord all the way to the reptilian brain, you can end them. You understand? You can end all of that, all the programming and all the fear-based programming, all of that. And then when the union happens, okay, the union on a crossroad. Remember the goddess of crossroad? That's what it means. And they meet there, and then the Big Bang Theory. Remember what they said, the creation of the universe? That's what the right brain and left brain happens. Separation, but yet they are in the bottom of this tulip, whatever it is. There's a union, because the tulip has to have a base. You know what I mean? It's not really stuck in the air, So you understand what I'm trying to tell you? And don't worry, I've created prayers to put you back in a state of harmony and to remove all these fears. And I'm going to create more. I'm going to create more prayers and to scrub clean whatever Satan put their tentacles on, and to scrub all of that and put you in harmony. You know what I mean? And you have to 144,000. You have to do the same thing. You have to scrub all of that, and you have to unify everything, the right and left brain, all of that. And you need to scrub all programming on your all programming in your nerve system, because all of that's connected to the nerves, all of that connected to the organs. The spinal cord is connected to the spinal cord is connected to all your everything you are, every fabric of your being, your cells, your organs, your glands, and everything is connected to your spine. Okay? Because look online, you'll see what I'm telling you. So that's why you're always attacking you from your spine. They're attacking your spine, and this is how they do it. And I just showed you how they come in. They're not coming through the sun side, which is the top of your head. But when they disconnect you, then you begin to try to program, your consciousness. They're trying to begin, to this. The separation you have, the separation is when this happens. There's a disconnection. You don't get into a cross and then you don't expand into your consciousness. You don't, when that happens, because they are disconnecting you from God. So you have to understand, your soul and all of that work of this union. Your soul, your energy field, your entire being, every cell in your body, every organs, everything you work from this. You understand? So when you understand how the enemy is so calculated, and they're doing it intentionally, you know what I'm saying? And yeah. So anyhow, I've created a prayer. I'm gonna upload shortly, and I think you guys should do the same. And you have to. Well, one thing is you have to, okay? You have to create a prayer to cancel all blood sacrifice, burn sacrifice, any sacrifice that is connected to you, is connected to your soul, your blood, your bones, everything, to basically to be canceled immediately and utterly. It's best to do it with your own voice. You command it and you do it with your own voice, because I'm doing it for all of you, but you have to accept my prayer. You have to accept my prayer, and in order to help you in order to help you manifest great things. Okay, so you have to understand how the game is played. All right, so take care, and I hope this helps.